Okay, before we get into understanding your production tools, there's a few things you've got to understand first of all. Firstly, if you aren't practicing or mastered frequency and character recognition and asking those questions all the time, you aren't going to be able to hear what these tools are doing. You need to understand with every sound you choose what the low frequencies are, which the mid frequencies are, which the high frequencies are of that sound. What the attack is of that sound and the frequencies of that attack. What's the body of the sound like? What's the tail of the sound like? And what is the tone of the sound? Understanding these 7 elements and how when you add an effect, it affects those elements and those elements of everything else in the mix is the key to mixing. This is perhaps the hardest skill when it comes to mixing. And it takes lots of repetition. And you're not going to learn it by watching one video. You've got to keep on doing it, sometimes months. It took me years because somebody wasn't teaching me in the way that I'm teaching you. The next thing is the first tool you use, and the first tool I use when I do a mix down for anyone is the fader. The volume of each item can be the biggest thing in the mix down that I do. So using metric AB to reference towards other tools, to the volume of your kick and your bass, from the bass to the vocal, from the vocal to all the different hi-hats, is really going to help you. Remember, you have to apply frequency and character recognition to the whole 3D spectrum, from 20 hertz to 20k, from the mids to the sides, from the left to the right, to the front of the mix, to the back of the mix. You need to be tuning into all these different areas of the mix. And remember, if you haven't got the right listening environment, as we discussed earlier in the course, then you're going to struggle. So try and optimize your listening environment the best you can. Remember, getting a great room is more important than any plugin you're going to buy right now. That's why some DJs who are on the road, they make the records in headphones or on the laptop, or other artists that just don't have a good listening environment, they send me the track and it's a case of just using the faders to get the balance right and maybe work on the bottom end, which is where most people's listening environments are at the weakest point. So if you've not mastered frequency and character recognition, go back, have a look at the questions again, print off the sheets that come when you sign up to the taster plan at subtonemusicacademy.com. Print off those 2 sheets, or put them on your desktop and ask the questions every time you're adding a sound or every time you're using one of these effects that we're going to use now. And before we do anything, ask yourself, what am I trying to achieve?